Good morning, everybody. This is Terry with Gateway 2 Counseling, and welcome to the Ask Terry Show. We are coming to you live here on our Facebook page, and we rebroadcast in our group Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, bringing you peace, joy, love, and light with online affordable counseling, right? So, let's get into this segment of us giving you some free pointers, some free help. We do ask you to send us questions. We will not use your name when we answer these questions online to protect your confidentiality, right? So today's question is, my kid is being bullied at school. What should I do? I am going to tell you that there's all kinds of different definitions now of being bullied. I've had clients come to me and say, my child is being bullied. And I say, well, exactly what is happening? Well, she came home crying. Well, she came home crying. Why? Well, she said that this other kid in her class called her a name. Or this other kid in class looked at her funny. And she felt like she was being bullied. Well, guys, that's not being bullied. Bullying to me, back in the day when I was growing up, I was called Four Eyes. I was called Shorty. I was called all kinds of things that were nice and not so nice. And I didn't see that as being bullied. The boys went around popping the girls' bras. Okay, that wasn't really sexual harassment back in the day. It was just something that kids did, right? It wasn't taken any further than that, right? It was just like a game. I think nowadays we are so sensitive, and we're raising our kids to be extremely sensitive as well. But there are times that kids are truly, truly being bullied. And I don't know the extent of this particular situation. So I'm going to take it from small cases to very large cases, right? And what to do with each. If your kid tells you they're being bullied, really sit down with them and have them to explain what the behavior is, not what the title or the label is, right? So if they're just being looked at kind of harshly, or the other kids aren't playing with them, maybe one kid called them stupid because they got an answer wrong in class, that isn't necessarily being bullied. It's mean. It's being, hateful. It's not nice words to use, but it isn't necessarily being bullied. If, on the other hand, your child comes home and says to you, oh, so-and-so hit me today, they're bullying me. Again, that is not being bullied, but it was a wrong behavior. So you need to address it with the teacher. If your child comes home and says that they're being bullied, you need to address it with someone at the school anyway, just so that you all are on the same page, even if they aren't truly being bullied. If your child comes home and says, kids are calling me names, not just one kid, multiple kids, it's happening day in and day out. They're calling me fatty. They're making fun of the food that I eat. They're making fun of the turban that I wear on my head. They're making fun of the clothes that I wear. It's not just one time, it's multiple times. It's one person multiple times. It's a group of people multiple times. To me, it's like the definition of abuse. We can say that you were sexually assaulted if it happened one time. If it's occurring multiple times from the same person, it becomes abuse, right? So it's the same thing with the bullying behavior. If it's happening over and over again, it is bullying. And it can go to an extreme of now taking place online. And that, to me, is what has been the most significant change about bullying. It used to be that a kid was bullied at school and they left school, they ran home, and they were safe in their home environment, right? They were safe with their family. They were safe maybe in their immediate neighborhood, right? You see kids on old TV movies, where two of them are scared of the big bully at school, and they get on their bikes and they hurry up and ride, or they cut through a backyard somewhere, and they're walking and running quickly so that they could get home to miss the bully, right? But nowadays you can't escape it. And that leads to major, major problems. What happens is it starts at school and it continues online. And I never understand why a child would continue to be friends with someone who is bullying them at school. If they're saying something negative to you that makes you feel bad, delete them as a friend, block them as a friend, right? But for some reason, teenagers, they don't think about that. They're crying and they're upset and they're sad and they're saying all this stuff is going on, and so says they're going to beat me after school, and all these things are happening, but you're still friends with them online, and you're still engaging in this conflict with them online. And I don't understand that. I've talked to many teenagers about it, and I don't understand why and usually they say, oh yeah, I could just delete them. Duh, right? They just don't think the way we do, right? So, but if it is carrying on online, then there are multiple things that you need to do. I already told you that you already need to speak with your kid about the true behaviors of the bullying. When you start to feel like this is really going on, you need to take out pen and paper and start taking down names. While your child is upset, take down the names, because they might not be upset in an hour and they will not want to reveal the name of the people involved, right? So you need to get the names of the people involved, and then you need to go and have a meeting with the vice principal, the principal, the school counselor, maybe all three, maybe one or two, but you need to have a meeting with the school because your child is suffering from this bullying behavior that's occurring at the school environment. Maybe they're being pushed around. Maybe they're, being threatened. Maybe they're being told that they need to give up their lunch money, right? So whatever the case may be, you need to go to the school with that information of all the facts that you have. Excuse me. Of all the facts that you have. And if you can, timelines, right? I love timelines because it validates what's going on. When you can sit down and say on, April 30th, 2019, doing 5th period of math, Sophia was saying this to my daughter, right? If you have those facts, then it is good. And when Sophia was saying that, Johnny was laughing, Tommy was laughing, Mary was laughing, and then Leslie also started to call me names, right? So you have all these facts in there, and you get to go and talk with your child, with the principal, whoever the authority may be at the school, and then you try to find some resolution to it. And if you feel like there has been no resolution after a week, and I'll tell you, schools have gotten so much better about this. But I was just told the other day of a child who was being bullied at school, and the mother did ask me this question, and she said, well, my father, the child's grandfather, said, hit them back. If they're hitting you, hit them back. Your grandma said to go to the teacher, but the teacher's doing nothing. So, and guys, that happens. That truly does happen where the teachers do nothing. Or it appears that they're doing nothing because they tell Johnny to stop and Johnny doesn't stop. Johnny continues, right? Johnny maybe waits till the teacher's back is turned and then Johnny continues to bully. So, sometimes I don't want disaster to occur. I don't want, your daughter or your son to feel so bullied that they get really depressed. Because what we see a lot in adolescence is that they start to self-harm. if you're calling me fatty, then I'm going to binge and purge. Not only am I going to binge and purge at home, but I'm going to start to binge and purge at school. Or I'm going to starve myself at school because they're calling me fatty. And then I'm going to go home and I'm going to binge. And I'm going to feel so bad about binging that then I'm going to make myself throw up. And it becomes a cycle, guys. So when a child is being bullied at school, there tends to be a lot of psychological issues that result from it. To an extreme, we have everything from I'm sad, I don't want to go to school. I had a kid every day for PE would call home sick or would go to the office sick because she did not want to be in PE. She did not want to be in her PE clothes. She did not want to undress in front of other kids because she felt she was overweight. So she found excuses and reasons and ways to get out of school. Everything from I have a stomach ache, I have a headache, whatever the case may be, to the point that her parents were frequently having to pick her up from school. So I was called in to work with the child and the family and the school, right? So that was pretty cool. So we have it from that mild, that's really a mild case, to the self-harming behaviors of the eating disorder. I've had those cases. To the self-harming behaviors where they're cutting themselves because they're so depressed. I've had those cases. To the extreme of making comments of I'm going to kill myself, I'm going to blow up the school, I'm going to kill so-and-so. I've had clients who make those kinds of threats. Thank heavens I've not had a client who followed through on that threat. And I think it's because we work as a system. We work with the client, we work with the parents, we work with the school so that we can avoid those serious situations, right? So we don't want what we hear on TV. Next week I'm actually doing a presentation at Memorial Hermann Hospital on mass shootings. And we know that some of these mass shootings, especially within the school environments, tend to come from a student within the school or a student who has recently graduated and is out of the school. And they have so much anger regarding the school environment and regarding being bullied within the school setting, and they feel like they weren't helped, that they go in and they unleash all of this anger and they start to actually just kill people, right? So we don't want that. Last year, 2018, was a horrific year for mass shootings. It was like it just caught on, right? People, well, they did it, so I'm going to do it too, right? And they don't care if they die. They play the video games and they see the gunshots and they don't feel the pain. My nephew said to me recently, they went to do paintball games, and he said, man, that paint really hurt. He said, like, I wanted to quit after the first time. He's 18 going on 19 this week. And so he was very honest in saying how much it hurt just to be hit with paint, right? So imagine they don't understand what it's like to be hit with a real bullet. So guys, if you need more assistance with this, of course we are here. We do work with adolescents starting from the age of 15, believe it or not. We like to do video conferencing with our 15-year-olds. It is HIPAA approved. We do take Medicaid. We do take Blue Cross Blue Shield. We now, I think, are set up with almost all the major insurance companies. So that is a wonderful, wonderful thing. So it doesn't have to come out of your pocket. But if you need to pay out of pocket, it's only $49 a session. Please visit our website, www.gateway2counseling.com. Bye-bye. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.